Hey gang, today I want to talk about soloing in Pantheon, and I want to trace it back down to the Necromancer. And I played a Necro in EverQuest, and we have a Necro that will come out in Pantheon, and I'm excited for it. So should the Necromancer be able to solo? That's kind of what I'm going to talk about today, because personally, I think it should, and here's why. So I got the name from the name Deafbone. I got the name Deafbone from the band Deftones. Mind you, I was playing EverQuest when I was like 15, 14 years of age. And the reason I'm telling you this is because my heart is in the Necro. That name came from Necromancer and hard rock. You know what I'm saying, man? So the Necromancer, we're not even sure when it's going to come out, if it's going to come out upon Pantheon's actual release date, or is it going to be in Pantheon's first expansion? We don't know yet. It's in development. We don't even have the Bard out yet. So speculations is what we're after. Now, I am hoping and praying that it is kind of similar to the EverQuest Necro. You get your dots, you get your snares, you get your fears, you get your undead slows, you get your undead mezzes. That kind of puts it in place for a Necro. If you don't have an enchanter or a bard in your group and you're fighting some undead, you get a Necro and a paladin in there. Oh, so there's a lot of different ways Pantheon could do the Necromancer. I thought the wizard was going to be your standard nuke med for a while, nuke conserve your, but no, it's kind of, I was watching the Pantheon Plus discussion on it, and it kind of opened up my mind a little bit, or kind of made me realize what it actually is. It's a good synergized flow to it. You're nuking, but you got to be careful on which nukes you cast and everything like that. And it's just a real neat twist to the wizard. It's kind of the same in principle. It's kind of the basic nuke all you can and do damages, but it's still a little different. So I got a few questions, a few real questions. Are Necromancers in Pantheons going to be like the EverQuest Necros? Are they going to at least have some of the same basic things like dots and fears and snares and all that good stuff? Right, so Necros, everyone knows that's played EverQuest, were the best soloers in the game. In fact, when you came across a spot, a camp, and you saw that the pathing was right, you could kite, or you could even fear kite, you know, to a certain level. It was made for you, right? You were like, God, thank you all the gods of Norath, because this is just for me, and I'm gonna get a crap ton of XP. So if that was to happen in Pantheon, how many people are gonna lose their minds over that? Is what I'm getting at. If you create a Necromancer and you can go solo a spot, how many people are going to get angry about that? You know what I mean? And let's not forget, there's several classes in EverQuest that could solo. You have your druids, your bards, your mages, you have your necros. I mean, it happened, okay? It happens. Stay with me. Oh God, Def is encouraging solo play in Pantheon. Hey you doing? Def over there is soloing the whole camp. The hell is he doing? No, I'm not encouraging solo play, but let me just tell you a little story. I learned how to fear kite. I was taught how to fear kite, just how a lot of monks in EverQuest were most likely taught how to feign death pool. You know, there's just certain mechanics that was in EverQuest that you really can't relive and remake in modern day MMOs. There was just certain things like that. So I learned how to fear kite. Shout out to Kisms. Kisms, if you're watching, I'm still alive. I lost all your contact information because it's been 15 years. Anyway, back to the point. You know, I had a bunch of good necromancers teach me the ropes and show me the camps, and then that led for me to become a professional, you know, necromancer, and I was doing some of the things they were soloing and going to certain raid areas, you know what I mean? It was just cool. All that being said, given the opportunity, if I could go solo a camp and fear kite and whatnot, or just plain old kiting, I would rather be in a group with my guildies or my friends, because let me tell you, it was a lot easier and a lot quicker. And a lot of people want a necro. So let me tell you another quick story real quick. There was a paladin in my my guild, and we would fight for aggro. I mean, that's how intensive my DPS was, okay? And any necromancer. I'm not saying I'm a badass. I'm just saying that a necromancer could pump out some DPS. I mean, once you got all those dots in line, and you started doing your leech, and you started throwing in your taps because you have such amazing mana regen, it was just freaking awesome. There was a paladin, and we would fight for aggro, and eventually I'd have to feign death, let him have it, let him feel like a tank, you know. So when I think of necromancer, I'm thinking powerful DPS, powerful fast ticking dots, okay? I think Pantheon, the way they're, who knows how they're going to synergize it. Are we going to have a different resource? Are we going to have just plain on mana? I know the go-to build in EverQuest was to stack stam and hit points, because you ticked your health for mana. So basically, the more health you have, the more mana you have. You know what I mean? Who knows? At the end of the day, I'm going to support VR and their vision of this necromancer, okay? But if you look back to the EQ one, you know, you had your fear kiting, you could basically tank undead and cloth. I mean, it was a different kind of animal. So it's just going to be real interesting to see what VR has in store for us. They could do something crazy like the Necro is a complete utility class where he just leeches the mob and spreads a hide over to the group, and does that for mana, and does that for some damage, or does that for strength, you know, where you're just absorbing the soul and giving everybody buffs and stats, you know, while doing a little bit of damage, you know. They could do just some weird pet class with it, you know, where it's just nothing but an army of undead. I mean, the possibilities are endless. We don't know what direction they're going. Necromancer was my class. It was it's always kind of my class, the undead, warlock, or necromancy type classes, if you will. That's my jam. It's always been my jam, always gonna be, aside from tanking. I plan on playing a warrior in Pantheon at this moment, but as soon as that necromancer is out, I am in it to win it. And I'm going to solo all of your camps. So if you see a necro soloing in Pantheon, I wouldn't give them shit about it, okay? I mean, we don't know. Is there going to be an AA system like in EverQuest? That's going to matter. Are they going to have feigned death? That's going to matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if they are able to solo that, they've worked their gear, they've obtained the capabilities to do that, and sometimes that's its own set of skill. I mean, a solo skill set. I mean, unless they're just taking up a whole camp and not letting a whole group get in, I could see frustration there. But like I was saying, I mained a Necro in EverQuest, and if I had the opportunity to join a group, I would much rather do that. I really want some feedback on this. What are you excited about the Necromancer, or what are some of the things you want to see? Are you against a Necro being able to solo in Pantheon? And if that's the case, I'm going to come at you, because there's going to be other classes that I'm sure can solo. A Paladin with some undead and self-heals? Are you kidding me? Anyway, just let me know, guys. I'm really excited for the class. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification if you want to. Follow us on Twitter, pretty please. Join us on Discord. Stay tuned for Battle Axe Live coming up within real soon now. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.